Welcome back to Smashed Oranges.
Woo.
It's been a minute.
Season 2.
We weren't sure we were going to make it back for season 2, but here we are.
Made it through the weeds.
We made it through. So, Sarah, what have you been making it through
Oh, man.
the last 6 months? I think we recorded the last episode in June, so.
Yeah, so a lot has happened. We initially had planned to do kind of like a wrap-up season 1 episode together. We actually recorded one, and then we never sent it through, which gives you a clear indication of where we were mentally at that point in time.
It was just like we were entering summer.
There was a lot going on.
I was traveling. You were having a baby. It was just, I don't know. And then so many weeks went by, and I was like, fuck it. I'm not dropping this episode. I'm not editing it. I'm not dropping it.
We're just starting fresh.
Yeah.
And I think this is actually a good place to start again. It's basically where we started the whole podcast, right? It was like right around New Year's time. So a fresh perspective.
Yep.
New things upcoming. And so to answer your question, I've had a baby.
Woo!
Yay! He's here.
What's his name?
Miles. He's an absolute joy. There's a lot to unpack about going into like for 1 versus 2 babies and the whole thing.
That could be a whole episode.
We're excited for that episode.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been like very renewing for me. I was very nervous, honestly. And I think you guys kind of picked up on that from previous episodes.
1. Yeah.
But it's been a really good experience, and he is a very joyful baby. And I got the sense that he was just, very mellow pretty early on, and bless his soul, he has been mellow. So it's been really nice.
That's so good.
And that's basically been my life the last 6 months.
Well, yeah.
Just, preparing to have a baby. Had the baby, lickety split. Already 4 months old now. So
yeah,
here we are.
That's good.
Ready for 2026. It's looking a lot more optimistic.
Yeah, you were not feeling super optimistic about 2025.
No, 2025 to me, this time last year, was looking pretty bleak. I was excited to have my kid, but I was not physically feeling very well. So, that puts a damper on things. So I'm feeling great now. Yeah. And how are you feeling? You've been very busy, very active. You've got a lot of new things on the horizon.
Yeah.
Fill us in.
Yeah, so I finished my Pilates teacher training over the summer. Yay! Cool. And then started teaching in September, so I've been doing that like 10 hours a week. I think I'm teaching 10 classes, which has been so great. Like, I feel like I just feel like excited about work again.
That's nice.
Which is so refreshing because it's been a while since I felt like excited about work. It doesn't even feeling like saying work doesn't even feel like that's what I should call it.
I know. Yeah, well, it's like a fresh environment, fresh purpose, even.
Yeah, totally. And then, I think it's also reignited like my love for movement.
Love that.
Like I'm feeling like, I think for a long time I was just like, dancing is like my thing, and now I'm feeling like more like movement is the thing.
I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah, that's exactly how I've been feeling lately. Well, especially thinking, okay, what does my 2026 look like? Yeah. I'm not going to be training people as much as I was in the past. I'm not going to be like in the same environment as I was. I just don't have the time or the capacity for it. But for myself personally, I'm thinking, that's something very necessary to keep me grounded. Yeah. And is so beneficial to just like the ripple effect. It kind of has more of a ripple effect to the other aspects of my life. Yeah. And so I'm thinking, okay, how do I make this part of my lifestyle as it currently is, as opposed to what it used to be? And so it sounds like you're doing the same thing, which is very refreshing.
I was even like on my way over here, I was just thinking about like where my head was at this time last year compared to where I am going into 2026. And I feel like I finally feel like there's a version of myself that feels whole again. I think when we started this podcast last year, I was like feeling like I really like needed something to like ground me and like a project to work on. And that was all of that. It was all of those things. But now I'm feeling like a little more like deeper into that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
I'm feeling like, moving into 2026, I want to like continue to like build really cool, like authentic connections and serve people. And like I'm starting to see like where my projects, we'll call them, I don't know, work and this and some other things that are brewing are like really like ways to like show up and serve people.
I love that. Yeah.
Whereas like this time last year, I was like, I need this podcast for myself so selfishly. Even though like I think it did give back to lots of people, like my mindset I feel like is a bit different.
Yeah.
Just feeling more grounded.
Well, it's funny that you say that because literally as you're talking, I'm thinking she has her pink back.
Yeah.
It looks so different on you as opposed to last year. And I'm not saying that you weren't in the process of that even last year, but it really goes to show the constant evolution of motherhood. And that's been really inspiring to watch from the outside perspective, watching you grow, but also very inspiring just as a whole, thinking, you know, your life isn't over in whatever stage you're in.
Yeah.
Right? There's just always fresh opportunity and growth, and it's been really fun to watch. That's very exciting. I am really looking forward to this next season because I think the two of us as podcast hosts have connected with our audience in a way that does allow us to kind of see what the need is out there, and the kind of what you're saying, it's less about what we're going to gain from this experience, but it's definitely about what is driving our passion for our community. And like, I was talking to a friend the other day just about some typical, you know, motherhood experiences and just saying like, I am so passionate about this, and it's something that people won't understand that passion unless they're in it. You know, and so it's funny because I think like some things, kind of like you were saying about dance, like some things you have as part of your identity. You think that identity is going to be forever, but then, you know, it might pass or ebb and flow as you age. Motherhood is something that like never ever leaves you.
It just like evolves.
Yeah, it just changes. And so I think in that sense, it's been really interesting to find it as, okay, where does this passion of just like the motherhood experience, where does that take me, us, the podcast, our audience? How can we, continue to be there for all the moms, because that part of their life, it will evolve and change, like your kids will grow up and things like that. But all this stuff is still so personal, right? And there's a lot to gain from it.
So what are some things that you are looking forward to chatting about this upcoming season?
Ooh, okay. Well, I've already been in contact with a couple other guests. And so I'm really excited to talk more like therapy, somatic therapy, just connecting to your mindfulness. And like, I've just noticed, you know, I've talked about this in the past, how like your nervous system kind of takes a beating as a mom. And so how do we work with ourselves in such a trying, challenging, but wonderful time in our lives? So I'm really interested to talk to professionals who can talk more about that, but also professionals who can talk more about like being in your body too. So, you know, I've got some like pediatric chiropractor talks, pelvic floor. We've talked about that before, you know, but those ones are my top ones just because nervous system to me right now is like on fire. Like, okay, let's talk to some professionals about this, because I feel like that's like the bottom up approach for a lot of things. Like you need to kind of figure out where your headspace is at and how to calm your body, and then everything else can kind of branch out from there. So that's top of my pick right now. How about you?
I mean, like, kind of ditto. Really, definitely looking forward to talking more about, just those self-care practices, but, like, deeper than we went last season, you know, and, like, bringing in more professionals to, like, speak to more of the how.
Yeah, exactly. Application-based.
Yes.
I think I see that's where the season is coming, or where it's going to be. Is more application. So like things that moms can take away and actually say, how is this useful in my life? Instead of, you know, I think there'll still be us sharing our experiences, but I think the real value in season 2 is going to be coming from our professional guests. So that'll be exciting.
I also am just excited because we both have more experience as moms now. I think last season we were still very new moms. Our babes were only like a year and a little bit. And now I still felt when we started last year that I was a mom of a baby. And now I feel like I'm the mom of a human that has like...
True. It's more of like a give and take kind of relationship. You know, where it's like you have actual conversations with this little person. You have to navigate.
I know.
I always say it's like you're negotiating with a little... a little bomb about to explode, because you never know what combination of words are going to set them off.
Yep.
Or vice versa. It's what combinations of words is going to make them work with you.
Yeah, or what combination of words is going to set me off.
Yeah, totally.
I'll be like, Arden, stop. And he'll be like, no, you stop.
You're like, oh!
Yeah, but also I think it's like high-key hilarious when he says that. Oh, yeah, I'm like, I just am perpetuating this behavior. But
it is true. I have to cover my mouth quite often and just like laugh quietly to myself because I'm like, where did you hear that? / how do you know to add that sort of inflection to that phrase? Yeah. Because that sounded like a very adult phrase. A little story time. So we have a cat. Maybe temporary. But we currently own a cat.
Yeah.
And she's very vocal. And I have unfortunately gotten in the habit of telling her to stop meowing and scratching my furniture and saying under my breath, usually, stupid cat. Guess who picked up on that? My little toddler. And so there was one time she says, Lulu, stop scratching. Oh, stupid cat. I was like, oh no. I knew right then and there I had to start making some adjustments because that girl is a little sponge. And so we had to say, not stupid, silly cat. So every time I'd say, silly cat, to kind of keep it lighthearted, but inside I'm just raging a little bit. So this cat may or may not live longer in my household, but to that point, just being really cognizant of how much our little people take in from us. You know, they're constantly watching and they're feeling what we're feeling too. Poppy is also taking on a very empathetic role in the sense that she can see, and she says, what's wrong? Frustrated? Yes, Poppy, I'm a little bit frustrated.
That is so funny.
So we're trying to put names to emotions right now, and I mean, she's crushing it, not gonna lie. She's doing a really good job, but yeah. That's awesome. So again, back to that bottom-up approach, I gotta lock in those, you know, coping skills and start to teach my little one something like that because she's taking it all in. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's been quite the evolution just in a year. It's pretty crazy, like thinking back to where we were a year ago. And something that I've been kind of hyper-fixating on is my 2026 vision board. And I think I would like to talk about that in another episode, kind of, you know.
Let's just touch on it now.
Positive thinking, kind of manifestation.
I want to go there right now.
Do you want to talk about it right now?
Yeah, we're talking about it right now.
Okay, because I've been very passionate about it this time around. And I think that just, I'm not pregnant, so I feel like, oh, the world is my oyster for at least another year, which is great. But I've been really invested in the power of, you know, training our brains to think about the things that you want to think about. So when you start to verbalize or visualize things that you want to happen, or, you know, the traits that you want to adapt or adopt, your brain starts to filter it out, right? It's like the yellow cars. Like, don't think about the yellow car. You'll start to see the yellow car everywhere. And so I just really want to see this year start with a little bit more intention in that sort of sense, you know, thinking more clearly about what I want and then training my brain to practice that. And I also have thought about this in more of like a practical sense where it comes to like skills and stuff like that, you know, because there's a lot of interesting studies out there where it's like, there's a lot of the benefit of practice is also just in thinking about the practice, right? So I'm a musician. When I would go to my rehearsals, as Miles was a little newborn babe, there were some times where I just like had to hold him and I couldn't play my instrument, but I would read the music and kind of like think about the fingering and stuff. And I felt like that was helpful.
That's,
you know? And so, yeah.
They've done studies on that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's totally a real science. So anyways, that's what I'm envisioning for this year is like, okay, we have to be really mindful of where our brains are going with just like their neural pathways because, you know, you can either strengthen your negative neural pathways or you can build new ones in more positive direction. So have you given 2026 a thought in terms of your personal vision and things like that?
Yes, I have.
Do you feel like they're clear at this point, or do you feel like you have a little bit of work to go before we get to the new year?
I feel like it's definitely clear. I feel like a couple things. ADHD brain is like downloading.
I know.
Downloading. My word for 2026 is flourish.
Love it.
I feel like I've planted a lot of seeds.
Yeah.
And I just want this year to feel like flourishing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like 2025, I just feel like I internally ended a lot of things that felt incomplete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like the visualization, like the pruning, kind of like if you got a plant, you're
Yeah,
like pruning it away,
yeah,
planting more. Yeah.
Or like uprooting completely and planting in a new plant.
That too. That too.
I feel like 2025 kind of felt like that.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, I feel, moving into 2026 that, it just feels really like clear going into the year. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like there's a lot of like things that are just staying in 2025 and are not coming into the new year. And it feels so good.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like a burden has kind of been lifted off now that you set your intention? You're like, okay, that stuff is not coming with me. You know, either it's relationships or it's patterns or it's like time management, that sort of stuff. Do you feel like, okay, you know, like it's not taking up any more brain space?
Yeah.
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 I think that's what's really important when it comes to, you know, making those goals, setting your visualizations, being really clear is, you know, not wasting the energy, right? It's often in this, like, do I or don't I make this decision, or do I or don't I, you know, decide if this is like for me, you know? I think something that people can take away from this episode is be clear and then move forward, right? Don't waste the time. Because I think that at the end of the day, that's kind of what we did with this podcast. You know, like we didn't know what the heck we were doing. And it's probably really evident in the episodes that we've done so far. But that doesn't mean that there isn't more to come and that like that's not a refining process. Yeah. So don't let yourself get stuck where you are thinking like, I need more time or I need to figure it out. Like just set the intention, start, and use that energy to build forward instead of like stagnating where you are.
Totally.
Yeah. That can really deaden a lot of dreams.
Yeah. Yeah. So some of my dreams for this year would be, I'd love to get engaged this year. I think it's going to happen this year. I think this is the year that it happens. Yeah.
I can see it happening this year too.
I think it's going to happen this year. I think so.
You better make that happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen this year. Whether or not the wedding happens this year is another story. I don't know. I feel like very not attached to that anymore. I'm like, if we could just like not really elope, but just like our parents and our siblings.
Yeah.
And like
totally.
Yeah, that I'd be happy with that. Like, let's not blow thousands of dollars on.
See, again, you're being intentional. You're thinking, well, where does my finances fit into this like grander scheme?
Yeah.
You don't want to put your finances towards like something that isn't lasting then.
Yeah. We've also chatted about, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe another baby at some point. Not like, I feel like I don't want the baby to be born in 2026, but maybe that's a seed that gets planted for 2027.
Literally,
we'll see. Yeah, I actually though. Yeah, we'll see about that. And then, I just want to, continuing to develop and kind of expand into different areas within Pilates.
Yeah, that's a really exciting endeavor.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. And then just, I think like connection and community feels like a really big piece of 2026 for me as well.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've met some really cool people in the last half of 2025 that I'm like really looking forward to like continuing to build those relationships and friendships. And just, seeing where the year goes.
Yeah. Well, it's cool because as I've watched you grow over the last year, you've been intentional about where your energy is going. And that definitely goes into relationships, right? It's like, okay, you know, where do I see my life headed? And do I surround myself with people who are like-minded or, you know, growth-minded in a similar sense? So.
It felt like a little bit of a lull there for me for a little while.
Yeah. Well, that's totally natural and normal.
Yeah.
Right? As you start to get your footing a little bit, like, who am I? Where do I see myself going?
And I think that was part of, like, becoming a mom for me, too. Like, that just like becoming a mom changes everything. And I think a big part of that, like it changes relationship dynamics and friendships and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like resettling into like old friendships and just like getting comfy with those new dynamics after having a kid. And then, yeah, just like deepening relationships with like other people who have kids of their own.
Yeah.
And like feeling out what that feels like, because like socializing with toddlers is a whole other thing.
Yeah, you're not just going to the coffee shop with your little babies anymore. You're like, okay, where can we go?
That my kid can run around and I don't have to like, I'm like, my house, your house, or the indoor play park with the fence.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I want to invest the time in gaining a relationship with this person, but I also have to split my attention. So how does that work?
Yeah. I
totally hear you. That's, yeah, I agree. Love it. I love your vision. I think for my 26 is similar. It feels like I'm kind of pulled in a lot of different directions because now I have 2 kids and they have very different needs. But I think what everybody says is true, which is like the more kids that you have, the more responsibility that you have, the more intentional you are. And that's actually, I've given it a lot of thought. We had a conversation earlier about words of the year. Threw some ideas around, but I think what it comes down to for me is intention. So intention, intentional, however it works in a sentence. That's basically my word for the year.
Yeah.
Because as I've mentioned previously, my daughter is a little sponge. So I want to be really intentional about the way that I parent, the way that I'm present in my home.
Right.
But also showing up for myself in the various ways that I need to maintain a sense of self and like be able to pour back into my family. So getting back into a state of like athleticism is really important to me.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to kind of like set some goals and be intentional about the rebuild process and then, getting more athletic. I'm still involved in my musical endeavors. So I'm part of a string quartet and that's been really awesome. I just think that like that scratches the itch in my brain enough. So kind of seeing where I can progress in that, still maintaining that in part of my calendar. Last night I was up very late thinking, okay, if I want to do this, I want to do that. Where does it all fit? And how can I bring my kids with me? That sort of stuff. And so I think that's kind of where I'm at currently, is thinking, okay, how can I bring my family with me and be intentional with that? So again, being in fitness and not maybe going to the gym as often or as long or having a community that looks a little bit different now. Thinking, how can I use my skills that will benefit others around me? And so I'm kind of throwing some ideas on the wall with that in terms of just like some casual free kind of like drop-in classes that I might start hosting.
That's exciting.
I know. I'll talk to you about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm thinking that that's something that I want to focus on because within my church group, there's been a handful of ladies that have asked like, oh, we should teach classes that, you know, whatever. But it never started because I was like pregnant or I had X, Y, and Z going on. But I feel like now this is a good opportunity for, you know, I think Miles is getting old enough and Poppy can kind of run around the gym when we do it. So that's something that I want to do.
Yeah.
Obviously the podcast, I think that's going to be really important to, again, find the people that we want to talk to. And yeah, those are some of the top ones, honestly, and also just being really intentional about my time with Josh, because we weren't really good at doing that with Poppy as a solo kid. Like we had time together, but I think now it's going to be like, okay, we're going to plan this date night and get out and, you know, court each other a little bit more and be specific with our time. So yeah, that's what my 2026 is feeling like. It's feeling very positive and hopeful.
Yes.
So I'm excited.
That's exciting. So exciting. So many fun things happening.
Yeah.
On that note, we would love to know what you guys want to hear from us this season. And then also maybe like who you guys want to hear from this season.
Yeah.
Local to Calgary would be awesome. If this grows really big, then we can reach out to outside of Calgary as well. Or if you know people who are traveling through Calgary, that would be super cool too.
Yeah. We will be doing some outreach, some community outreach to find some people. Just because we find that word of mouth, like people that you've actually interacted with or you've heard of, is really helpful. Or specific issues that you think you'd like us to address that would be, again, helpful for you or somebody that you know. Please make sure you send this episode to a friend. Let's get some more ladies on board and create a bit more of a community. This is kind of our intention again for the podcast is to create that village that gets lost sometimes. And so, join us on season 2 of Smash Oranges. Yeah. Thank you again, you guys.
And drop below in the comments what your one word for 2026 is going to be. I want to know that. And with that, we will catch you when we drop our next episode. This is kind of like an in-between episode of like season 1 and season 2. And then we're hopefully starting to record season 2 mid-January. And then that'll be dropping hopefully February.
Intention.
It
will be dropping.
It is coming. It's on the calendar. So once it's on the calendar, that means it's happening.
Yeah. So stay tuned, you guys. Like, follow, subscribe, do all the things, send to a friend. And we will see you in 2026.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye. Let's hope that recorded.
Let's hope the